Hi, I'm Michael Buer, Professor of New Testament Studies at Dallas Theological Seminary, and this screencast is entitled Studying New Testament Vocabulary with Logos Bible Software. There are two basic steps that we need to cover. The first is downloading the publicly available word lists, which enable you to study the New Testament vocabulary, and then the second is using them on your desktop software or on your mobile device. Let's get started. Downloading the word list that you need to use to study the vocabulary in the New Testament is actually a pretty simple process. There are two files we're going to ask you to download. The first is one that covers the vocabulary in mounts, so you can use that as a way to study the vocabulary that occurs 50 times or more. And then the second is a word list that I have created, which covers the vocabulary that is not in mounts from 30 to 49 times within the New Testament. The first thing to do is to go to your Docs tab, and it will usually default to yours, and it will show you all of your particular files that you have, whether they're a visual filter, a sermon, a morph query, what have you. What we want to do is go over to the Public tab, which shows you all of the documents that Logos users have made public, from user A to user Z. So we need to filter and sort to the ones that we need. There's two steps that you can take. You can, for example, use this bar on the left to filter by the various elements that are indicated. For example, let's go to type and then sort to word lists. So we only want to show public word lists, but it still is a lot. So let's add a search feature by looking for mounts. And what this will do is to show all the word lists that are public that have the word mounts in the title, which covers the ones that we want. The one that you need is the one that has my name attached to it, Michael Buer, and you can then highlight it and add it to your docs, and then it will download it and give you a copy that you can then use. Now, in order to find the other one, you need to search for 30 to 49x, for 30 to 49 times. I gave it a particular name like that. You can see it's Nestle Aland 28, 30 to 49 times. So highlight that and then add that to your docs. And what this does is it downloads it to your system. You then have a copy of it that you can then use to study from. Once you download a word list into your installation of Logos, there is a lot you can do with it. You can duplicate it, you can modify it, you can add to it, you can build upon it, etc. But for purposes of study, the desktop version allows you to create cards. And so let me show you very quickly how that would work. We could, for example, go to Docs and go to now Our Documents, and then open a particular word list. So for example, I might go to the one that I created with 30 to 49 times. Double clicking on that opens that up, and then you'll notice that it immediately puts it into a card form. So I could then, if I wanted to, print these out to have a physical copy. You'll see that this is arranged so that the front matches the back, and therefore if you were to print it on a double-sided cardstock, for example, it would look fine. You could also, if you wanted to, actually manipulate the list. So here's the grid view, and it's essentially a spreadsheet. You could then add additional words to it. You could take some out, etc. I, of course, don't encourage you to do that with this list, but you could use this as a basis for something else if you wanted to create a different list. But the better use is actually in working with the flashcards program. So let me switch over to my iPhone and show you how to do that. You can go to either the Google Store or the Apple App Store to download the Logos Flashcard app. The one you want to find is by Faith Life Corporation. It's entitled Greek and Hebrew Flashcards. It looks like this in the Apple App Store. And once you download it and open it, you'll be greeted with something like this. Now, the secret sauce is on the Settings tab. You'll notice that I have logged in with my DTS account. This is the same account I used to log into my Logos installation. This is key. This allows for the syncing of the files that you have, the word lists, etc., that you've downloaded to the portable device. So make sure that you're logging into the flashcard app with the exact same credentials that you use to log into the Logos desktop app. And then once you do, you will see in the Stacks tab all of the word lists that you have available. So for example, I can go to the one that I created for 30 to 49 times and start working on those particular words. And then you simply go through it as you work with a flashcard program as usual. Now, the other thing to note is that on the mounts file, this is arranged by chapter. So for example, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong button. If I go to the Information tab, I can actually go to the sections to memorize and pick the particular chapters I want to focus on. So that makes it fairly helpful for working on the vocabulary as you're going through the mounts text. So for example, if I only wanted to focus on the last several chapters, I might highlight only chapters 20 through the end, and then when I go back, I can start to actually work on that particular file and simply go through it as I would any other particular program. So the long and short is we've downloaded the files to our Logos installation. We have linked our flashcard program to our account, and now we can access and study the word list files that we have downloaded.